welcome to my March vlog. This video was supposed to be coming out the first week of April, so I am really sorry in the delay of this video coming out. There are a few reasons for this. First things first is the first couple of weeks into April, which was when I was kind of supposed to be wrapping this video up and finishing and filming some last little bits, I was undergoing some new skin treatment for my acne, and it just made my face really sore and really irritated, and I just didn't really feel up to filming. But then by the time that healed, I went and visited friends and family for a couple of weeks, and I also attended some Bookish events during that time as well. And then on top of that, sadly, during that time I was there, I lost my dog of 13 years, Zula. It was just really hard because she's obviously been with me for half of my life. It was a very difficult experience because I've not gone through it before. So I just wanted to kind of be there for my dad, and I just kind of wanted to take some time to, you know, grieve and just kind of get through it a little bit. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody as well for all of the really kind messages over on Instagram. You guys have been so loving and so supporting. So for that, I just want to say a huge thank you. I am so grateful. And the whole time I was there, because I work from home, I had to take my work laptop with me and I couldn't take my editing one. So yeah, I apologize on the delay in that sense, but I will play catch up and I'll be fine within the next couple of weeks. I have an April reading wrap up that's going to be coming out, but then I also have a very exciting fantasy vlog that's coming out because I am going to be attending an event this weekend, and I am so excited to take you guys with me. I just know it's going to be so good. But yeah, in the meantime, get comfy, get cozy, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Today is a very exciting day, and I have been looking forward to this for so long now. But today, me and my friend are actually off to meet Hannah Kano, who is the author of the Fallen Gods trilogy. God Killer was a 6-star read for me, and I'm absolutely obsessed with this trilogy. I recommend it to literally everybody. I have never been to a book signing before, and I am so excited. I was going to take my Illumicrate editions to get signed because I think it'd be so nice to get them personalized. And then I was debating on taking my Waterstones exclusive Faithbreaker because it is the launch event of Faithbreaker. However, they are very heavy books, so I've decided that I'm going to take this one. This is where my reading journey started back up for me again back in 2023. It was the first book that got me back into reading consistently. I think it would be so nice to get this one signed because it has a lot of sentimental value to it. I've got my comfy clothes on, I've got my fantasy sword earrings in. So yeah, let's go and get some books signed and meet some people. Wow, I've actually got quite a lot of updates to share with you guys, but I am so excited because all of these updates are really fun and really exciting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. First of all, I want to spend some time talking about the evening with Hannah Kano because that was such an exciting night. I've also got some reading updates, what I've been reading lately, what I'm going to be reading next, my thoughts and feelings. I've also got some book unboxings as well because they have been sat on my table since January. So if I don't open them now, I'm going to end up with a full stack and we're going to be opening 12 boxes in December. I have book mail, I've got some ARCs, I've got a mini haul. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this update. Get comfy, get cozy, and let's have a good old bookish catch up. First of all, let's talk about the night with Hannah Kano because oh my goodness, it was so much fun. So the night started off with a bookish Q&A and then it rolled into the book signing. I absolutely loved the bookish Q&A so much because it is so nice to actually kind of sit down with the author and get to really know them and get to know everything behind their story. She is genuinely one of the nicest and funniest and down-to-earth authors. She's just really inspiring. She spoke a lot about the struggles that she had as a writer, but how important it is to just keep trying and keep going. I absolutely loved hearing her talk about her characters. You can just tell how passionate she is about them. I loved hearing more about the backstory and the inspiration behind the characters, the designs of the characters. I love the amount of research that she puts into her work as well, and hearing her talk about that and where it all came from and what she had to look up and stuff. It was just so good and so insightful. Another really great thing about the night as well is the illustrator of the covers, Tom. I'll put his Instagram handle up because I am such a big fan of his work. He also did the covers for The Book That Wouldn't Burn and The Book That Broke the World. Again, Book That Wouldn't Burn is one of my favorite books, another 6-star read of mine. But it makes so much sense as to why I was drawn to those books, because they are just the most stunning covers, but they are also so unique as well. The art style is incredible. As someone who did art for like most of my life, I'm really drawn to beautiful covers and creative things. So being able to talk to him about his art as well and some of the other books that he's done was really, really nice. He also recommended me another book as well. It's like a fantasy murder mystery. So I picked that up whilst I was there. I was worried at first that I was going to get a little bit FOMO, because when I looked at the queue, most people had the 3 books and I only had the 1, but I just didn't really want to carry all the books with me on the train. But for me, I'm really glad I got this one signed, because like I mentioned earlier, this one has so much sentimental value. To be honest, all the other ones I have on my shelf are signed, so to have this one personalized, I love it. It's really, really nice. We also got given a little postcard of some artwork, and of course I got the book signed as well. And I also got my book signed from the illustrator Tom as well. He signed all the other books for me as well, so that was really, really nice. It's really nice to have this on my shelf in my collection, because I will absolutely cherish this forever. But yeah, let me stop yapping about that, because I could genuinely talk about this all day, every day. I have not 1, but 2 Illumicrate boxes to open, and I am so excited to open these. So these are January and February's. I don't know which one's which. I have probably muddled them up. It's just been a really busy couple of months for me, so I just never got around to opening them. So I'll open the box and then do close-up videos so you can see the items in a bit more detail. I have absolutely no idea what books are inside or anything. I haven't watched anyone's videos of unboxing them. So yeah, let's get opening. Oh yeah, there is a blanket. Oh my god, this is so exciting. This month is Fantasy Emporiums. Very snazzy. Do you know what? Actually, I don't want to have a look at what the items. I kind of want to surprise those, but let's have a look at the featured book. Actually, no, let's keep this all a surprise. So this is a Midnight Bridge blanket inspired by Watermoon. That's what the book's gonna be. Oh my god. This looks absolutely stunning. I have an absolute obsession for blankets. Oh my goodness, this is so soft. Oh my gosh, this just keeps on going. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely stunning. I will put a video up so you can see what it looks like. I've never had a Bookish blanket before, and that design is absolutely gorgeous. I can't believe that. The quality is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna keep this on me because keep myself warm. Ooh, what is this? Heart's Desired Trivet, inspired by Legends and Lattes. That's so cool. I really want to read Legends and Lattes. I hear so many good things about that. Ooh, oh my gosh, how cool is that? You know when you want to use something but you don't want to ruin it? That's how I feel about this. So in this little box here, we have Poison Garden mini bud vases. Mini vases, that's so adorable. I have no chill when it comes to opening these type of boxes. I just rip them open. So these are really cute. We've got 2 little vases, a green and a blue one. But no, those are really cute. I reckon I can find something for those. And then here we have a tea strainer. I'm more of a coffee drinker than a tea drinker. However, I am a big fan lately of my herbal teas because I'm really trying to get into the habit of drinking those. Stop. That is so cute. Let me show you this. I know they said it was a tea strainer, but I didn't think it was going to literally be a tiny little teapot. I am so easily pleased, but that is so stinking cute. And then lastly, we have the book. Oh my gosh. This is kind of giving me Studio Ghibli vibes. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. This is an absolutely stunning book. The sprayed edges as well. I've heard a few people talk about this book and I've heard some really good things about it so far. It is a book I do really want to read, so I am looking forward to reading this. Oh my gosh, the hardcovers. Oh my gosh, look at this. These are absolutely gorgeous designs. Oh my god, the birds as well. The end papers as well are absolutely stunning. stunning. This is a really good one. Let me know in the comments if you have read this book and what your thoughts and feelings were. I'm really intrigued. So a little bit about the book is on the back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see only a cozy ramen restaurant, and just the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. This sounds so deep. Hana wakes up on her first morning as the pawn shop's new owner to find it ransacked, the shop's most precious acquisitions stolen, and her father missing. And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger, quite unlike any other customer, for he offers help instead of seeking it. Together they must go on a journey through a mystical world to find Hannah's father and the stolen choice. Through rain puddles, hitching rides on paper cranes across the bridge between midnight and morning, and through a night market in the clouds. As they get closer to the truth, Hannah must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice she will never be able to take back. That sounds incredible. I'm an emotional reader. Give me a good sob story and I'll absolutely thrive. February, you were a fabulous month. Please be a good box as well. Ooh. This one looks edgy. So this one is You Made a Rebel. Oh, it's like it's pirate themed or something. Oh, I'm excited. What the heck is this? Oh, we have a card holder. Duty first. I do not use card holders whatsoever, but a book themed one? Just saying, I think I will. Oh, what are these? Luggage bands. They both have like adorable sea creatures on there as well. Oh my gosh, I think I prefer the blue over the pink one. I might actually put one of these on my gym bag or something. Wait, is this like a stationary thing? I used to have one of these years ago for like my paintbrushes and my pencils. The design on that is stunning. I really, really like that. Now this I could have used for Edinburgh. It says it's a light and dark travel pillow. It comes in this really cute little bag. Do you know what? That's fudging adorable. That's so cool. The design is really cute as well. It has like sun, moon and rain clouds, thunder clouds on there as well. I see a lot of people put this sort of stuff on Vinted, but I don't think I could ever get rid of it because I would find a use for it. And then finally, of course, we have the book. Ooh. I like it. The sprayed edges are really nice as well. They've kind of got, is it like a compass or something with some really pretty leaves on there as well. The hard covers are absolutely stunning. It's kind of like the map and it's got the name of the places in like foil as well. End papers are really, really pretty as well. They're really, really well designed. I am really impressed with these two books. So this book is about a character called Ximena. I think that's how it's pronounced. She spent her life training to become one of the black-cloaked cazadors, seafaring hunters who capture the pirates pillaging the Luzon Empire. But although she is top candidate at the academy, that will not be enough for a daughter of the notorious Rails pirate captains who were executed for their crimes against the empire. So when Gasparilla, the most infamous pirate in Luzon's history, attacks the capital, Ximena offers to catch him in exchange for being named a cazadora. The empire accepts on one condition. She must compete for her cloak against Dante. I absolutely love the name Dante, by the way. It's one of my favorite names. The pompous and infuriating son of the High Minister. Knowing this is her chance to prove herself once and for all, she must set out on dangerous quests across the archipelago to hunt Gasparilla. But no matter how far she sails, her family's pirate legacy continues to haunt her, and soon she has to question the very laws she's always fought to uphold. Yeah, I'm really impressed with these boxes. I'm gonna have to clear up this mess real quick though, because I have just made an absolute chaos under my... Okay, now that's all cleared up. I had to go and get myself a coffee because my hands get so cold when I'm filming. I've always got really cold hands and feet. So yeah, despite the fact the coffee tends to go cold and I never actually really get to drink any of it, it's nice to just kind of have a hand warmer. So in terms of reading updates, wow, have I got info for you. So for those of you who do not know, I took part in the Shatter Me Readathon hosted by Electric Monkey Books. I was very kindly sent a limited edition sampler of Watch Me, which is set 10 years after the Shatter Me series, and they basically explained they were also hosting a readathon, so I took part in that and I'm currently on Defy Me, devouring this series. I am absolutely obsessed with everything about these books. The characters are absolutely fantastic. The world setting and building, and oh my god, the plot twists. They have plot twists. Every time I think I have found a really gripping read, something beats it, and in this case it's the Shatter Me series. A lot of people have said that they aren't really interested in the series because of it being a YA and they're a little bit worried about it. It does not feel that way when you are reading it, and at the end of the day, what some of the characters are having to say and do, it's wild. So a quick spoiler-free recap or kind of synopsis if you haven't read this series. I did briefly touch upon this in my February reading wrap-up, so I won't go into too much detail, but just in case you haven't seen that video, I will give you a quick run through. So there is a government known as the Re-establishment. They're trying to kind of wipe everything away and factory reset the entire world. There are sectors all around the world, and each of those sectors have leaders, and they're the people in charge and they're the people in power. They essentially want to ban books, get rid of education, get rid of language, get rid of everything. They have moved people from homes into shelters. People are having to work in factories. Cities have been abandoned. Everything is very barren now and wasteland. So yeah, everything's just gone downhill. And our main character, Juliet, she's been locked away in an asylum. You'll find out why when you read the books. And essentially we follow her story about how she wants to take the Re-establishment down and pretty much everyone along with it. There is so much more to the story, but it's really hard to explain it all without spoiling anything. There is a character called Warner. He's one of the children of the leaders. You'll meet him. There are also some soldiers and other friends that she meets along the way. So I am going to talk about my thoughts and feelings now. So if you have not read this series, I'm going to put a timestamp on the screen so you can skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers. So yeah, just pre-warning you. Guys, I genuinely have never been on such an emotional roller coaster compared to reading this series. I have gone from absolutely despising Warner, from him stubbing his toe at 2 a.m. in the morning and me not even going to care if he is okay, to absolutely loving him. I just feel so bad for him. I knew he was going to become that kind of character, but for me, I just couldn't figure out how. Can we talk about Adam for a second? I thought he was the sweetest being when I first got introduced to his character. But then as soon as Warner came along, I was like, how is Juliet ending up with Aaron? I could see it coming. I knew it was going to happen, but why? And I really got sad about Adam because I didn't want him to turn into that kind of person, and he did, and then I despised him. I don't hate him, I do like him, he's a lovely character, but obviously I just do not like what he said. It made me really sad because Adam was one of my favorite characters up until he opened his mouth. Also, can we highlight Kenji, because he is genuinely one of my favorite book characters. He's so kind and so caring, but so humorous, but you also feel really sorry for him because he just has so much pain and suffering, and you can tell he's lonely, but he just pours his heart out for everybody. Yeah, I absolutely love Kenji so much. Also, can we talk about the fact that Warner and Adam are brothers? Like, I beg your finest pardon. I did not see that coming whatsoever. And I genuinely had to reread the chapter because I was like, because obviously Adam is saying about how he recognizes the person and that's his dad. I was like, hold the phone. I had to go back and reread it because I was like, did that actually just happen? But there are just so many plot twists in this series. My brain is just malfunctioning. So I've recently discovered that Juliet's sister has been in the tank. She's just found her, but they've escaped on the plane. And again, he was going to propose to her. What? Oh, I can't cope. I love them both so much. There is just so much going on. The fact that her parents came back to essentially kidnap her, like where the heck did they pop up from? Honestly, it's just getting so wild and it's just getting better and better. And I'm really curious as to how this is all going to turn out. I was getting really frustrated that the dad kept on popping back as if he hadn't been unalived like 3 times. But obviously you find out he's got some of the healing powers from the sisters that he kidnapped. So I was like, that makes it a lot less weird now, because I was getting a bit frustrated at that because I was like, how is this guy just not dead? I could genuinely spend hours talking about this because so much just keeps on happening and my brain is just like, I literally don't know what to expect next. All I'm hoping for right now is that they actually go back and get the sister, because right now they've all just fobbed off on the plane and I'm a little bit like, Hello, sisters over there. For me, one thing I will admit is I'm not really enjoying the novellas very much. I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like it's a bit too repetitive with the novellas. For me, I absolutely loved getting the other characters' povs, especially when we got Aaron's for the first time. That was so good. But when I was going through the dialogue, they were literally pages and pages and pages of the exact same dialogue that we had already read. And I think one of the novellas, it was like the third time that I heard that dialogue again, because it kind of bounced back and forth several times. And I was just kind of like, I'm rereading literally pages upon pages of what I've already read pages upon pages of. So that bit got a little bit tedious, but that's not to say that I didn't enjoy the bits that were new. I'm obsessed with all those little bits. But the novellas are important. I feel like they're there because they're needed. So it's not a big issue, but I was kind of just skimming them because obviously I'd already read them, especially when it came to Juliet's journal as well. I found it a little bit difficult to kind of go back through that journal again because obviously we read the snippets so many times already. But other than that, absolutely flying through the books. I have no idea what to expect other than the fact that there's going to be marriages at some point. I'm assuming that Aaron and Juliet, or Ella, should I say, oh my God, completely forgot about that. And Kenji as well. He is going to get with her, the zero. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be fuming. As you can tell, I have quite a lot to say about this series and I am really looking forward to getting into the rest of it. In terms of what I'm reading next, I'm not someone who can kind of divert and go off and read other books. I am just going to blast through this series. So I've also been charity shopping this week as well. So I thought I would show you some of the books that I have. Let's put this down for a while. Coffee, you are keeping my hands warm, but it's time to let you go cold. So I have some books here. These have all been added to the collection this week. So I thought I will show you. What the hell was that noise? I absolutely bloody love charity shopping. It is one of my favorite things to do. I have found some absolutely incredible things in charity shops book-wise, and I always like to showcase those on Tuesdays. You may or may not be familiar with my series called Charity Tuesday. It's a series where I talk about bookish finds from charity shops. And honestly, I absolutely love it because I love showing people that you can find some great things, and charity shopping makes things more affordable. And of course, you're also supporting local charities as well. So the first book I got was The Assassin's Apprentice. This book I hear so much about, so I was really shocked that I found this in a charity shop. I have absolutely no idea what it's about. I've not really looked into this before. I just know that it's a fantasy. One thing that does intimidate me a little bit is the text does seem a little bit small. But other than that, I have heard really good things about this, so I do think I will give this a read at some point and I will come back and do a review on this. The next book I found is one that I've actually been searching for quite some time because it's on my TBR, but it's one of those where I didn't want to buy brand new because I don't think I would have picked it up anytime soon. But I managed to find it in a charity shop and it is actually The Book Thief. Everyone tells me to read it. I've just heard that it's absolutely fantastic. It's really moving. So yeah, I am really looking forward to read this one and I couldn't say no for the price that it was. And then this is a book that I actually picked up from Waterstones and this is The Tainted Cup. This was actually recommended to me by Tom at Hannah Kaner's Evening with Her. He also illustrated this book and he told me that it was like a fantasy murder mystery. I'm obsessed with fantasy and I'm also obsessed with murder mysteries, so put two and two together. Felt like I couldn't really say no. So I am part of the Bloomsbury's content creator circle, and this is essentially where you can request an arc every single month. And then this month I received Where the Heart Should Be by Sarah Crossan, and this is a historical fiction. You know me, I love an emotional read, and this sounds something that I was really, really drawn to. I'm just really interested to see the story development in this, the character story, where the direction goes in. Really want to experience the emotions reading this, and I'm really looking forward to giving this a read. I will definitely be giving my review on this as always once I finish reading it. I am incredibly grateful that I got to receive this and I am really, really looking forward to reading this. So yeah, there's absolutely no room on the shelf, but whoops. I literally just had to grab my microphone because I really need to talk about this. I'm literally about 15-20 pages of finishing Defy Me. So if you have not read this book, skip ahead a little bit because I am about to do some spoilers. So please, please, please go now. Guys, Aaron's just proposed. I literally can't cope. I was so intrigued as to when he was going to propose because obviously Kenji encouraged him to not do it on the plane. But this is so, so sweet. I am genuinely buzzing. So I'm going to quickly finish this book and I'll be back. Wow, the amount of emotions that I just went through in one go. Didn't think it was humanly possible. I know this probably isn't the first thing that I should say after just finishing this book. Where the hell are Adam and James? She has literally just said only Adam and James are missing, but we have new friends. Like, honey, you love James. Like, why are you not bothered about where he is? Because I certainly am. Like, are they safe? Are they in the camp? Did I miss something? Yeah, I want to know where they are. Anyway, I really enjoyed the ending of that book. I love how it's kind of filled us with hope, even though Shiz is very much about to go down. I also love how Castle is reunited with his daughter and her wife. I thought that was really, really wholesome. I also love the fact that people are kind of uniting together again. People are becoming more trustworthy. Gutted Kenji and Nazira didn't share a tent, but anywho. But yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with this book and I'm going to jump straight into the novella. But yeah, I will be back at some point with another reading update. Good morning everyone, I hope you're all having a lovely week so far. So me and Ash are going to head out for breakfast together this morning and then we're going to go and do a bit of charity shopping. I also want to pop into TK Maxx as well because TK Maxx do such gorgeous books and kind of bookish merch now, and I've been going there for a couple of years now and I absolutely love having a look in there, so I will definitely see if I can find something in there. But yeah, I absolutely love going charity shopping, so let's go and have a mooch. Hello, I'm back. So I did buy a couple things, so I thought I'd show you what I got. The first thing I did get actually was this t-shirt. It is actually from the men's section, but I don't care. It has a duck on it and I couldn't not buy something that had a duck on it. Birds and ducks are my favourites. There's no way I was walking out without this t-shirt, and it was only £13, so I thought, that's coming home with me. So I got a couple of bits from TK Maxx and Waterstones. I got one from each place. So the first book I got from TK Maxx was Jane Eyre. I've always wanted to read classics and I have actually got a couple on my shelf already, but I saw this for just £3.50 and I thought I really couldn't leave it on the shelf. I also thought the design and the illustration on this cover is really, really pretty. So for £3.50, you just can't go wrong, can you? So the next book I got was from Waterstones and I had a £20 voucher and I have been dying for this book for a really long time now, and it is Blood Over Brighthaven. So I actually saw this book on the shelf a really long time ago now, before I'd even seen it on BookTok. The one I saw in the shop was a signed exclusive edition, and I kid you not, what drew me to the book was the fact that it had a typewriter on the front cover. I love my typewriters. I love anything vintage. I absolutely love my typewriter. I'm obsessed with it. So because I saw a typewriter on the front cover, However, I ran over to the book to have a look at it and it sounded so great. But because I was buying other books at the time, I didn't pick it up. So yeah, those are the 2 books that I picked up today. But yeah, it was nice to have a little bit of a shopping day. I didn't really find much in charity shops today. There wasn't really anything that drew my eye. And a couple of the charity shops were actually closed as well. So I'm not too sure why. But the shops that were closed were the ones that I typically go in and find the books in. But never mind. But yeah, plan of action for today is to finish reading the Shatter Me books and hopefully try and finish it this week. I also want to rearrange my bookshelf this week as well. I want to change the middle shelf because it's just not shelving the way I want it to shelf anymore. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing that this week and I will be back and we can rearrange my shelves together. Hello everyone. So it's currently Wednesday afternoon and it is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's currently 15 degrees Celsius and to some people that might seem really cold, but people in the UK will vouch for me here, but this is basically our summer, so we want to soak up every bit of sun that we can get. So I decided for the first time this year I am going to go out in the garden and set up my egg chair. I got my egg chair last year and it is just my favorite reading spot. It's so comfy and I just love being outside in the sun with nature, listening to the birds and reading a book. So as we have one day of good weather this week, I thought I would go and have a sit outside during my lunch break. So yeah, let's go and set up the egg chair. I genuinely can't get over how nice it is out here. It is so good. So I am currently reading The Arc of the Dark That Hides Us, which is book 2 to The Light That Blinds Us by Andy Darcy Theo. I just want to say a big thank you to NetGalley for approving this ARC request because honestly, I am so grateful. I did read The Light That Blinds Us back in December, but this story is about a group of teenagers who discover that they have elemental powers and they find out that they are children of the elements. They have to embark on this big journey where they have to go and find their corresponding gemstones hidden all around the world, and they have to collect all of them before the shadow baddie does instead. They also find some secret things out about this shadow baddie and everything just goes wild. It's a really fun adventure and I really enjoy all of the characters in this story. I really enjoyed the first book. There were so many secrets and so many twists and I'm really excited to find out what happens in this book. So yeah, this is now what I am currently reading and I'm really looking forward to it. Time to soak up the sun before it disappears. Today is productivity day because if I don't do it today, I don't think it's ever going to get done. So I've made it my mission today to sort out my bookshelves. I have my main one here, which you always see, and then I have a small one over in the corner, which is like a 3x3 IKEA cube type one. That one over there has a lot of my ARCs / charity shop books and TBR books. Most of these on here are like my pretty / favorite books. The idea is that I wanted to move these hardback books to one of the bottom shelves and make this kind of like a sprayed edge / favorite bookshelf. The only trouble is I don't think I have enough sprayed edges for this unless they come in my subscription box, which I've only had for a few months anyway, or they are books that are my favorites or I really, really want to read. I don't really tend to buy them, so I don't think I'm going to be able to fill it all up. So I think I'm just going to kind of have to play around and see what I can come up with. I was thinking about also moving these 3 down, but I quite like this shelf as it is. So yeah, as you can tell, in a little bit of a predicament here. I'm kind of just going to have to play around and see what I could come up with and just see what fits where. Another thing that I really want to do as well is I want to scan all of my physical TBR books into my Goodreads in its own little shelf so I know how many books I have that I need to read. I also want to count how many books I have and do a little bit of a tally on how many are new ones versus how many are charity shop books. I have it in my head that most of my books are from charity shops, but I really don't think that's true. Was also thinking of giving you guys a shelf tour as well, because I know you can kind of see bits here, but it's probably going to change around a little bit and I can show you all of my little ornamental stuff as well. Quite a bit to do, so I think I'm going to crack on with it. I will see you in probably 3 to 5 working days. Okay, so I have my Divine Rivals and my Rufus Wells Fairy Loot edition, so I am going to put these in on this shelf. I literally have this tiny little gap left to fill. I honestly feel like if I was to move these 3 Illumicrate editions down, it would fill super well. The only thing is, I really love this shelf how it is. It's kind of like my fantasy shelf, and I love how they're kind of front facing with them in the middles. Like, I just think it looks really good. Might just have to maybe bring one front facing for the time being. But yeah, we're close. We'll get there. Okay, so for the time being, I've just pushed everything across because the leaves that I put here should cover this little gap next to Caraval here until I get another book come through next month. This is what I'm having to work with right now, but honestly, I think it looks really good. So yeah, much happy with that. Now I just need to work on the bottom 2. Okay, so I've counted all of my books from my shelf and my cubed cabinet, and I have 265 books. Going through my shelf as well has kind of made me realise that I had books that I completely forgot that I had. So yeah, I guess I better get cracking. Missy's flat out. She's like, yeah, you can do this by yourself. Oh, are you sticking your tongue out for YouTube? Wow, I'm actually surrounded by quite a few books right now. Ow, there's one digging into my leg. So the plan now is to scan the books that I haven't read into my Goodreads to add them to my physical TBR shelf so I know that they're all organised. And then if there are any books along the way that I'm thinking about unhauling, I'll make a little pile. And then if there are any cool books or ones that I'm really interested in or ones that I've read that I would recommend, I will show you them as I'm going through. For example, one right now that I can see is this version of Song of Achilles. But yeah, I could sit here all day and show and tell the books that I've got. So I'm just going to get cracking and I will show you some things along the way. So yeah, I will be back. Okay, so I was just minding my own business, sorting my books out, when I had a knock at the door and I got a parcel. Feels like a book, looks like a book-shaped box. It looks like it's from Waterstones, but normally I swear it says Waterstones on the box. I have absolutely no idea what this is. Wait. What? Oh my God, I got it. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. So this is 33 Plays Brugman, and this is a historical fiction. I am absolutely loving my historical fictions at the moment. Honestly, I am so grateful for receiving this. Thank you so much, Bloomsbury. This has genuinely made my day. I am forever grateful. Oh, what a nice little addition to the day. That's made me really happy. And now back to the organising. So I've sorted out my pile of ARCs. These are a mix of gifted from a friend, being part of the Bloomsbury's content creator circle, and also just some PR packages that have been sent to me. I do like having ARCs because I know the books come out eventually, but there's just something really cool about having a pre-release and having something that not a lot of people have. The collector side of me gets really excited about that. So I have The Last Bookstore Before Earth, and I am planning on reading this. Like I said, I know the book's out and it's probably going to be different, but it just saves me money having to buy it twice. But yeah, I really wanted to read this. Up next, we have The Burning Land by David Hare. This is a high fantasy. Really interesting, really good, great world building, great kind of character dynamics. Literally the only thing I wasn't great with was the complexity, but overall still a great book. So this one is a YA thriller, and it's about a girl who goes back to stay with her uncle. When she gets there, she starts receiving all of these threats here, and she basically has to discover who's sending these threats. This was part of a really awesome PR package. It was so cool to receive. So this is an ARC gifted me by my friend, and this is Blood of Hercules. This one I actually received thanks to Bloomsbury's content creator circle. So this one is Dark Mirror, which is book 5 of the Bone Season series. This one is a chunky one. I am so glad I have this. So this is the arc to The Book That Wouldn't Burn. Is one of my favorite books. It is a 6-star read for me. So to have the arc of this, it feels so cool. And then finally, we have The Great Wen by Alan Moore. This was actually the first arc I ever received. I was so excited to read this book, but unfortunately it was so complex and it really hurt my brain cells. It's also 54 pages for the first chapter. So yeah, the concept, absolutely fantastic. I was so looking forward to reading it, but I just couldn't figure out what the hell was being said. That could just be me and my brain. So who knows, you might enjoy it. Everything is done. Everything is back on the shelves. Everything is where it belongs. So I thought I would take you through the stats that I kind of added up along the way, and then I can go ahead and do a bookshelf tour. So the math might not be math in here, but we roll with it. I have 264 books, but I have unhauled 20, so I'm left with 244 books. And out of those books, 61 are from charity shops, and if I do decide to unhaul, then 58 of them will be from charity shops. I really thought I had more charity shop books than that, but never mind. Despite the fact that that took me about 4 hours to do, I feel like it needed doing. I feel really kind of cleansed, refreshed, and I now have quite a lot of space on my shelves. I was going to do a video showing all of the books that I'm unhauling, but I think I'm going to save it for another video. So now everything is where it belongs. Let's do a bookshelf tour. So I haven't really got a order to my bookshelf. These are kind of just books that I really love or I really, really want to read. So I'm not going to go through every single one of them because you're probably going to see these in some future videos, but feel free to pause if you want to and have a look if you want to have a browse. By the way, if you ever decide to do a book nook, it's I'll put it in close for you. This is a really nice one and it lights up really nicely as well. Just wear gloves because I got super glue all over my hands doing mine. Genuinely one of the most tedious things in the world. And in fact, I don't even think super glue worked. I think I had to get Gorilla Glue instead. Genuinely, it took forever to do and I had to get Ash to help me, and we genuinely took about 3 hours to do it. But it turned out really nice in the end. So nice little Christmas present or birthday idea, or just any gift in general if anyone wants some ideas. And this little guy here, this is my little smut ghostie. Me and my bestie, we love to do what we call crafternoons. And essentially when I go down to visit, we do cute little crafts in the afternoon. I did a little book of The Hobbit, but she made this little ghost and on it has some little smutty books and therefore it's a smutty ghost. But I've kind of been using it to kind of keep my little jewelry on there, and it's also got my little Caraval pin badge on there as well. But she sent it to me in the post because she knew how much I loved it. Now, this is really cool. So this is from the Caraval series, and I'm a huge fan of this. If you do not know, it's my all-time favorite series. Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows are my all-time favorite books, but this is my all-time favorite series so far. I'll put the name on the screen of where I got this from. So I got this from Etsy, but I just don't exactly remember the name, but I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, I just think it was a really cool bookish edition to have. I feel like I need to address that these candles are fake. I think from a distance they probably do look real, and people probably think in my videos I'm trying to burn my books, but I promise you they're fake. I don't know where you can get them from, but I assume Amazon have them. I got these at an event I went to. This is actually a Christmas decoration. So it's just antlers, but the reason why I love it is because it kind of reminds me of God Killer. Moving on to this shelf. So we have this really cute little Lego book nook here, but you could get this when you spent over so much money in the Lego store and you got it for free. So Ash got something from the Lego store and then he surprised me with this for Christmas, but it's just the cutest little thing. I also actually have my own little Lego character, so I'm thinking about swapping this character out and putting myself in there instead. I think that would be really cute. These books are so expensive to buy now. I got them on Amazon for about £25 for Ash's birthday, but I ended up taking them instead and putting them on my shelf. This is just a dragon egg I made. It's literally just a polystyrene egg and pins. I saw someone do a tutorial on TikTok and I thought it was really cool, and I just thought it was really cool to have a little dragon egg on my shelf, so I made one. These little dragons here, me and Ash actually won at the arcades together. Then of course we have the newly arranged sprayed edge shelf. I do want to change a couple of these though. I'm not a big fan of these two at the end here, but that's why I popped them at the end. Just feel like the solid color, and this one is a little bit clashy with the rest of them. They are also holding up these leaves. Now moving on to this shelf. I was trying to make this as much as a Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows shelf as I could, but I ran out of books. So in the corner here, we do have a couple of sprayed edges, but the reason why they're here is because they are a lot shorter than these ones. So this is the Baby Dragon Cafe, and this book here, I will actually show you this one. So yeah, this is Under the Oak Tree. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's also a book that I'm really excited to read because it just sounds absolutely incredible. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating because they are different sizes, but they are the same height as the German editions of my Ruthless Vows and Divine Rivals, so that's why I kind of put them there. Then we have the UK hardbacks of Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. The collector in me just loves having all of the different editions of the books. I have the Fairy Loot editions as well. The sprayed edges on these books are just absolutely stunning. I managed to get Ruthless Vows on the Fairy Loot site for £25, and I was absolutely over the moon. But unfortunately, I couldn't get Divine Rivals, but my other half surprised me with it as a little gift. So honestly, I cried for ages. I couldn't think of what to put here, so I decided to put Blood Over Brighthaven. The reason why I put it there is because I feel like the whole typewriter thing matches with Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. And then moving onto this shelf, I'm not 100% happy with this one. I think I do want to change the books that I have, but for now it would do because quite frankly I am way too tired tonight to reorganize the actual books on the shelf, but this will do. So here I have my little Edinburgh Castle souvenir. I got this when I visited with my bestie. This I actually won from the arcade. I didn't realize at first it was Hedwig. From the distance I just thought it was a bird, and then when I saw it was on books as well, I was like, oh, that's adorable, I'm gonna have to get that. This here is so heavy. So Ash actually got me this I think about 5 years ago now. It's been quite a long time. This is so amazing, by the way. So I got this off Amazon. It cost me, I think, about £15, but I use this to kind of hold all of my bookmarks. I told you I like typewriters. I love it so much. And then moving on to my bottom shelf, this is kind of just where all my hardbacks are kept. If you're wondering what this is a giant Skyrim box. If any of you love video games or have played Skyrim, it's got some Skyrim, I think, books in there. I haven't opened it yet, but really excited to get to those eventually. Also, please don't judge me for having 2 spectaculars. I basically didn't realize that I was getting them. So I pre-ordered one on the Waterstones website, but then the second one came as part of a package, and there was like an evening with Stephanie Garber online. It also came with a special pin badge, which is what the Smut Ghosty is holding. The reason why I've got both of them though is because I can't decide which design. The naked hardbacks have a different design. There's 4 different ones, and these 2 are different. So I'm kind of umming and ahhing, but I will get rid of the other one at some point. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. So I also have this as well. This is a Caraval / Spectacular standee. So when the book released, I asked if they had any merchandise or anything that was kind of being put out on the shop floor, and if after a week or 2 of them not needing it anymore, if I could have it, and they very kindly gave it to me. They said it was only going to get recycled anyway, so I was like, well, I will definitely take that off your hands. Yeah, I'm so happy that I got this because, like I said, it's my favorite series and it just looks so cool. But yeah, that is everything on my bookshelf. Missy just wanted to say goodbye for the evening. She always sticks her tongue out. You say bye-bye? So we are almost at the end of this vlog, but before we do finish, I just wanted to quickly go through the books that I read in the month of March. Don't get me wrong, for the majority of this month, I was pretty much just reading the Shatter Me series, but I also had my first DNF ever. And then I also had a fantasy arc, which I finished, so I want to talk about that as well. We'll start off with Shatter Me because I think now I've completely finished. I have a lot more to say on this series, so I will do some spoiler-free talk, and then I'll put a timestamp on so you can skip if you don't want to hear any spoilers, and that will be about my first DNF. So for the Shatter Me series, I did give this series 5 stars. For me, a 5-star read or book or series, it has to have good character development, or great character development, great story development. It doesn't necessarily have to have plot twists, but if there are good plot twists, then bonus points. I want to feel all of the emotions, you know, the happiness, the sadness, the grief, the pain, and I experienced all of that reading this series. I think the pacing of this series was just so good. There was always something happening or something going wrong, and that's what kind of made you want to keep reading. Everyone had a really good story behind them and backstory, learning about their upbringing, all these different things. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this series is the fact that even though our characters are very, very powerful, they still kind of had to use their brain and think strategically and critically, and it's not like they could just walk in and save the world just simply from being powerful. There were lots of barriers, consequences, points in the story where they came to a stumble, and you know, it was really realistic, and for me personally, I really enjoyed it for that reason. I think the ending was phenomenal. I think it wrapped up so well. Going into some spoilers now, so if you have not read or finished this series, then I'll put a timestamp on the screen. You have been warned. Can we talk about the fact that they got married? And I really like how it kind of ended and how it all wrapped up. I absolutely loved the fact as well that Kenji and Aaron kind of started to really like each other. I was getting really irritated at one point because I was like, these two are never going to be friends, and I think they would make such a good pair of friends. But I think I absolutely love how their kind of bromance turned out in the end, where at the wedding, Kenji was like helping Aaron and calming his nerves. And it just shows that despite the fact they kind of want to rip each other's heads off, secretly deep down, they will always help each other out. And we've seen that throughout the series. So yeah, I thought their kind of friendship was really well done. This might come as a surprise to some people, but I honestly think one of my other favorite characters in this book is actually Juliet's sister. There is just something about her that I'm really drawn to. And even though she didn't have a lot of page time and she wasn't in the story for very long, and she had an incredibly sad ending, where she was the most powerful person and where she had been locked in this tank this whole time with just her conscience, and she couldn't see and she couldn't do anything, I just felt so incredibly sorry for her. The amount of twists and turns in this story in general was just absolutely incredible. There was just always something being found out, the whole Juliet sister thing, and her parents just kind of popping up out of nowhere and then finding out that they're actually like the leaders and they were the ones experimenting on everyone this whole time. Like there was so much going on when you look back and think about it. Yeah, I'm really excited to jump into Watch Me. I really hope we see our characters return. So going into my first ever DNF. I have never really felt like I've ever needed to DNF a book. So the first book I ever DNF'd is Mars House by Natasha Pulley, and this is a sci-fi, and it was part of my book club's monthly read. The concept of this story is actually really interesting. So it's about a character called January, and they are a performer at the Royal Ballet in London. And it's kind of set in a time, years and years in the future, where Earth is basically flooded and there's all these catastrophes going on all around the world because of everything, global warming, all that sort of stuff. And they're kind of rehearsing one day and they go to leave and the place has been flooded and they end up getting stranded there for a couple of weeks. But when they get rescued, January actually gets offered to go and migrate to Mars. Now, there are people who have lived on Mars their whole life, they've been born there and they have like full citizenship. But then there are people who are migrating to Mars, but the people that live there see these people who are coming from Earth as really dangerous because they're actually accidentally killing a lot of the people on Mars by accident because the gravity is different and their builds are different, and it's causing a whole heap of problems. There's a lot of political things going on, and it's actually really, really interesting. And I actually kind of left myself on this bit of a cliffhanger, and you kind of start seeing people side with one another and all this sort of stuff. You're probably thinking, well, why did you DNF it then? I wasn't really picking up this book, and I didn't feel like I wanted to pick up the book either. I found myself kind of going several days without reading, and I never normally do that unless I'm really busy, but I wasn't busy. I didn't want to pick up this particular book. There was a lot of time jumping and skips, and there was some character dialogue, and I just couldn't really figure out who was who and what was being said and why it was being said. So I guess it just got a little bit confusing. But even when I got to the twist, I was like, I think 10% on my Kindle, and I was like, I don't think I'm that interested enough to carry on reading another 500, 600 pages because it's a pretty chunky book. I thought I was going to get huge FOMO because literally everyone in the club really enjoyed it. And from what everyone was saying, it sounded like it actually got really interesting. But even then, like I woke up the next day and I was like, I still don't really want to pick it up. So I just thought, I'm going to leave it there. Maybe one day in the future, I'll pick it back up. But as it stands right now, unfortunately not. And then finally, the last book I finished in the month of March, which was actually an ARC, and it is The Dark That Hides Us by Andy Darcy Theo. It's a fantastic book. It's about, as I mentioned earlier, very briefly, a group of teenagers who discover they have elemental powers and they basically have to go off and save the world. Book one is all kind of about the adventure, finding their hidden gems that correspond to their power all around the world, learning everything behind their stories and growing up and stuff. But in book two, it actually dives into the battle between the goodies and the baddies. So the bad guys are trying to take over the world with their power and their shadows, and obviously our guys are trying to stop them. And I really loved it for that reason, because even though it took a little bit of a while for the battle side of things to kick in, the build-up I think was done so well. You can really see the character relationships developing in this book and their strength and just everything that they've learned on their journey. I really enjoyed the emotional side of it. I think the pacing was absolutely fantastic. I also did not expect the plot twist coming as well. I thought that was so cleverly thought out. It was so good. I connect to the characters so well. I love every single one of them. I love how we got to see more of the baddies and the demons and everything. I definitely recommend reading these books. And that concludes my March vlog. If you're still here, then thank you so much for watching. I appreciate this vlog is probably a little bit long compared to normal. As I always say, your support means so much to me. Honestly, I couldn't be more grateful. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. As I said earlier, stay tuned for my April reading wrap up and also some more bookish event vlogs that I attended, and also my fantasy event that I am attending this weekend as well. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!